Salutations everyone, this is Fraser here giving you a movie review of Resident Evil Retribution. I think it's the 5th movie, I don't know, doesn't matter. I'm just doing this video movie review because I know it's been a while since I reviewed a movie. I think the last one I did was Dark Knight Rises. I meant to do one for like Premium Rush and Lawless when they came out, but work and traveling kind of got in the way, so I decided to give you guys one. And first of all, I went into the movie knowing it was going to be shit. Okay, I knew that this series was crap since I saw the very first preview of the very first movie, and so I didn't have big expectations going into the movie. And I'm not a fan of the series. I haven't seen any of the movies, and I know it's based off a video game, very popular. Haven't played any of the video games, which I know is like a cardinal sin or whatever, but hadn't seen any of the movies, and I hadn't played any of the games, so I'm like not really a fan, but I really didn't need to be, because they sum up the first 4 movies in the first 2 minutes after they roll the credits. And what they essentially say is like nothing happened in the first 4 films. Like everything that they tell you, you could already gather from like the trailers of those movies. It's like the first 4 movies, like one thing happened and that was it, and you already know that by watching the trailer. And so that really didn't hurt me, and I knew it wouldn't, because this movie isn't meant to be taken as an awesome masterpiece. It's meant to be, you know, silly fun and action and shit. And let me just tell you, this movie is terrible. Spoiler alert, I know. It is so bad. Okay, let me tell you, this movie is so bad, I can go to the bathroom during the movie and that's okay bad. This is, I seriously went to the bathroom during this movie. That's only the 2nd time I have ever done that in my entire life. That's how bad this movie was, because I knew I wasn't going to miss anything, and I wasn't missing out. And oh wow, it's so bad. I mean, I know it's Resident Evil, so you know you got fast zombies, and it's all about this chick named Alice, who's been the protagonist throughout the series. And they do bring in some recognizable Resident Evil characters, even for someone like me who doesn't play any of the games. I was still able to recognize Ada Wong, Wesker, Jill Valentine, because they talk about her at the beginning, because she's like a bad guy or whatever, she's being controlled. And Leon is in there, although I didn't realize it was Leon until someone said his name, which I should have picked up on earlier, because they definitely made him look like Leon, but I don't know. Oh, it's so bad. First of all, the movie, it looks like a video game. It really does. Some of the choices that the director made just makes it look like a video game. You know, it's like there are different levels in the movie, that like different maps, like, oh, here they're, you know, in Hong Kong, here they're in Russia, here they're in New York, they're in Tokyo, they're in suburban area. You know, there's all these different levels, and then there's these like almost scripted boss fights where these huge creatures come at Alice and Ada Wong and all the other characters, and it's they're very disappointing boss battles too. Every time you see like this huge creature, like, all right, here we are, at least we'll get some good action scenes. No, they're always so disappointed. I mean, the creatures are never pose a huge threat to any of the characters, and they're always over in like 2 minutes. Every time you see something like, oh, this will be a nice struggle, no, it's over before it starts. It's really disappointing. The action was just bad. There's a lot of guns, and being a Call of Duty player, you're always going to recognize a lot of guns in a movie. Like I saw these dual-wielding Scorpions, you know, M4s, M16s, TAR-21, Desert Eagle, UMP-45, AK-47, as well as this fake gun that Alice uses throughout the movie for the majority of it. That looks like it can hold a lot of ammo, but not the kind of ammo that I'm seeing in this movie, because, you know, typical action movie cliche, there's no reloading in this movie whatsoever. Thousands of rounds being unloaded, and they only show 1 reload in the entire game. It's like they bothered to have all these AKs and UMP-45s with unlimited ammo, with like magazines of like 10,000 rounds that somehow fit into this, you know, tiny little box. But they managed to have only 9 rounds in the pistol, which it's like because I was counting to see how many rounds, because that's like the first gun in the movie. I was counting to see if they're gonna have them shoot 1,000 rounds in a pistol, but no, 9 rounds in the pistol, then shoot reloads, and from then on, every single gun has unlimited ammo. It's just ridiculous. A lot of ridiculous things. Like, why does a Tokyo police officer have a Desert Eagle in his car? That doesn't make any sense. Plenty of other movie cliches. If you see a gas tank, it's going to start leaking gas and then it'll explode. Defying the laws of physics and thermodynamics. It's just stupid. And even though I didn't see the movie in 3D, it still had the 3D cliche of shit popping at you at the screen, flying towards the viewers, which is just really stupid. I mean, because that's like the typical thing that you see in 3D movie. And if you're seeing a movie that is in 3D, but you're not seeing it in 3D, and you see all this stuff flying at the camera, that just reminds you, oh, you're seeing a 3D movie, and 3D movies are always shit when they're being advertised. It's in 3D. Whenever you see a movie, it's like, blah, 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 in 3D, you know that movie's going to be a piece of shit. Because it's a gimmick. It's like if Infinity Ward made movies. It's all flash and no substance. So the acting is terrible. Oh my god, the acting is terrible. The writing is shit. I mean, this thing better win a ton of Razzies coming this year. A whole bunch of major coincidences, like, oh, isn't that convenient, where she found a gun, or that thing exploded, or they found this thing, or she gave that to her, and oh, she just needed that in this situation. It's so dumb. It's predictable as shit. There's this one part early on in the movie where they go over, we need to go over here, and then through here, and then rendezvous, and then escape. I'm like, oh, okay, so you're gonna do this, and that's the end of the movie, isn't it? Yep. Insanely predictable. You know what is going to happen step by step before it even happens, because they like lay it out for you. It's so predictable. There's also this one part in the movie that's supposed to be like a twist, which I'm not even going to bother spoiling, even though you're not really going to see this movie, are you? But there's this one part that I think is supposed to be surprising, but it's not. You see it a mile away. It's so predictable. Freaking Nazi zombies are in this movie. I know they're not technically Nazis, they're like World War II like Russians and what looks like some Americans based off of their hats. But there's like these Nazi zombies with like terrible rubber masks. It's so bad. Like they just went to like a Spirit Halloween shop and put some masks on some extras and had them, start firing unlimited ammo AKs with these terrible looking masks. These zombies look so fucking fake, it's ridiculous. They didn't even try. And this movie isn't just funny because it's bad, there are also like really ridiculous unintentional things that just makes you start laughing your ass off. Like there's this one point where everyone's in a Rolls Royce and being chased by the Nazi zombies in these Jeeps and motorcycles, and out of nowhere, one of the zombies on the motorcycle just starts popping a wheelie. It's like, what the fuck? Why is a zombie doing a wheelie? That makes no sense. What the hell is he gonna do next? A 360 no scope? It was fucking just stupid, out of left field, just ridiculous. And there's this one part toward the end where they're all in this cloning facility that Umbrella uses for their experiments, and you see all these clones in this huge room on these rail conveyor belt things, and it reminds you of that scene in Monsters Inc. where Mike and Sully are in those huge room of doors looking for Boo's door, and that's exactly what it looks like. Instead, they're bodies instead of doors, but it's so ridiculous because when you see that, your mind goes straight to a Pixar movie, and I just start busting my gut. And you know, like after 5 minutes of the movie, oh, this isn't the last one. They're gonna make a sequel, and sure enough, there is. I mean, this movie is just loaded with stupidity. Outside of the fact that there's no reloading, which is kind of an action movie cliche, so you can kind of get over it pretty quick, and the fact that the 3D shit is getting thrown in your face, reminding you that it's a stupid 3D movie. There's this one scene where this guy's gonna give himself up so the other people can escape, and he runs out of ammo with his UMP-45 after 1,000,000 rounds, brings out a revolver, and bad guys are like, hey, come out, and he comes out, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna surrender, and then turns the gun and shoots one person, and it's like, you could have shot like 2 other rounds, and he just shot the gun once, and then like let himself get killed. It was so dumb. And there's this one point, like at the end of the movie, where they do like this stupid Final Fantasy thing where someone gets punched and they go like in X-ray mode, and so you can watch the bone crack. That just comes out of nowhere. It's like, why are they starting to do this at the end of the movie when they, should have been doing it at the beginning of the movie, if you're going to do it at all? It's just so dumb, and it looks just like how it did in the last Final Fantasy movie. Lots of laugh out loud, hilarious, butt-gusting stuff in this movie. It's really funny how bad it is, and there's a sequel coming, sets it up real easily. It's just a terrible movie. If you plan on seeing it, make sure you don't pay for it, and bring a bucket of laughs with you, because you're going to need every last one. I give this movie one flying turd because it sucks. It's a terrible movie. Don't see it. I mean, this movie has to rank in the top 2 of the worst movies I've actually seen in the theater. And from what I hear, this movie is actually considered one of the better ones in the series, so I can't imagine how terrible some of the other ones were. And the fact that this is the most successful video game adapted movie franchise is just sad as hell. Being a gamer, that's just really sad. And there's going to be another one, and this one's going to make millions of bucks. Then they're probably just going to keep making more and more till Mila Jovovich or her husband dies, and they don't make any more. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and don't see this movie. It sucks.